During 6 years with the Hamilton Wentworth Regional Police Service in Ontario, Canada, Constable Paul Johnston had always worked alone. But all that changed in 1991 when he was teamed with a rookie named Troy. When Troy moved in with Paul, his wife Janet, and their 2 young children, it was the beginning of a relationship with deeper bonds than most partners ever share.
Okay, Troy, let's go to work. Come on, buddy. That boy, hey?
Paul and Troy got ready to go to work. But before he left, kisses and hugs. Call me if you gotta work late.
Okay, see you, buddy. Up.
He doesn't leave the house without a hug and a kiss goodbye, because that could be the last goodbye.
February 25th, 1992, 6:49 p.m. A call came in to 911.
Police fire ambulance. My daughter just called and she'd like a policeman. What's going on there? Well, he's drunk and he's out of control and she wants... Any weapons? Well, there's guns in the basement. I don't think there's any bullets. I don't think he's gone that far. We'll get someone over there, ma'am. Okay? Yep, thank you. Yep, bye-bye.
Okay, Paul and...
Sergeant Bill Cook headed to the scene with Paul and Troy and several other officers.
Family problems, you're always looking at a lot of emotions.
What was the last one you gave?
Any call like that, the K-9 is usually put on call. It can be a potentially dangerous situation.
The dispatcher placed a call to the home where the disturbance was reported to be taking place.
Hello? Hi, is this Kim? Yes, it is. He's got a gun outside. Okay, that's what we want to know. Go. He's outside now? What does he have with him? I don't know. Some kind of gun. Oh, is it a handgun or a rifle or what? Pardon? A rifle. Go to 310. 310. The suspect involved, he is out front now. And he has a rifle. I'll give you a description when you're ready. Somebody's at my door. What should I do? Can you see who's at the door? I think it's him. What am I supposed to do? Hey, wait a second, Alan. Wait a second. Someone's knocking at her door. Just wait a second. Okay, apparently she's saying it is him at the door, trying to find out if he does have the rifle. Try to get an exact location of the house.
You have the complaint here on the phone, just flash the lights. I'm not sure, I can't make out the house here.
Okay, I'll get her to do that. Okay, she flashed it 3 times. You can see the house, 10-4.
10-4.
301, do we have anybody coming from the south right now?
When we go to a situation like that, you try to bring in units from different directions. You want to contain the suspect in a particular area so that you can control the situation.
301, do we have a location of the suspect now?
Negative, he's quit knocking at the side door, and she doesn't know where he is at this time.
That makes this situation that much more difficult. We don't know where he is. We don't have a visual check. We don't have anybody giving us information. He could be in the other yards. At this time, he could be gone.
Constable Steve Cook went through the yard next door.
You never know what might happen in a situation like that. We approached the house. We were staggered out around the house, so like we were all gathered up together. The guy can just pop us as we're coming up.
We'll use a dog in a lot of dangerous situations where we need to find somebody, but we don't know where they are.
Good boy, search. Good boy, search.
Paul and Troy took the lead.
Good boy, search. Search. Good boy. Good boy, search.
I hear dogs. Okay, we have a dog there. Okay, they're on Al.
Man with a gun! Police, drop the gun! Drop the gun! Put it down! Put it down! Police department, drop the gun! Police, drop the gun! Police, drop the gun! Police, drop the gun now!
Cook was totally caught. He was the closest of us to the gunman at the time, and he had no cover available to him.
Police, drop the gun or I'll send the dog!
When I realized he wasn't going to drop the gun, I knew we had to do something.
Take him! Try, come!
I heard something go Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared.
Call team, police control. Shot the weapon at the K9 dock.
M4 will advise 105. All units stay 10-3.
Troy immediately fell to the ground. We could see that he'd been hit. Nothing was said. Everywhere was quiet. I know I rolled in behind the barbecue and shook my head once or twice, going, "No, this isn't happening." And it had.
Put it down! Nobody else has been hurt yet.
Paul Johnson, because of his position where he is, started the negotiation.
Nobody's been hurt yet. We don't need anybody hurt.
Very difficult for him. He's from a vantage point where he's not only seeing the suspect and trying to talk to him, but he's also seeing the dog laying there, not moving, because the dog is within feet of where this man is.
Just put the gun down. Look, we can get you some help.
I wanted to get up and just run in and grab my dog and get the heck out of there.
Nobody's been hurt yet. We don't need...
I wanted to empty my weapon at the gunman at one point. There was a lot of different things that went through my mind.
We can end all this. All we need is you to put the gun down.
Over the next period of about an hour and a half, Paul continually talks to him.
By that time, we knew our negotiator was on the scene, and she'd been briefed on the situation. We had worn it down to the point that a package of cigarettes was going to be the difference between him coming out and him not. And the first question he had for her was, "Do you have my smokes?" And as soon as she said, "Yes, I've got them," he stood up.
Drop the weapon! Put it down! Don't move, don't move, don't move!
I came up and just reacted at that time. I got up and I went over and I got the first handcuff on him, and I was rolling him over to get the second arm to handcuff it, and I just, everything hit me at that time. I thought of my dog, and I had to get to my dog. Been about an hour, and I knew he was dead. I knew there was no hope at that time. It really hit me at that time. Hey, he's gone. He was there. He was the ultimate. He was. I don't think any police officer could have a better partner or somebody that was so loyal.
I've never told anyone this, but I walked over and looked at the dog and said thanks. It was a pretty emotional feeling at that point there. It was a good friend. A good friend had laid his life down for me.
Paul may have had regrets of even sending the dog in. He may have felt that he had sentenced the dog to that.
I went home that night, and that's the whole idea, is to go home. I promised my wife and my kids that when I go to work, I'll do whatever I have to do to go home. Unfortunately, I had to do that with Troy.
We lay Troy to rest. One who laid down his life for society.
Oh, I really miss him. I'd love to have him back.
God does bring comfort to those who lose a loved one.
He used to love to bay at the siren. He'd hear a siren go off, whether it be a fire truck or an ambulance, or whether he was in the cruiser with me and I turned on the siren, he'd start to bay at it. And I still hear that whenever I turn on the siren in the cruiser. Like, where are you? I can still hear you, but you're not there.
It's been a year and a half since Troy was killed. Paul and his family recently got a new puppy, but they continue to miss Troy.
Slow, folks. How many sticks you got? What are you going to do with the sticks? Make it
Sasha doesn't take the place of Troy, but she fills a little bit of that void. I mean, you lose something, you replace it, but it's not the same as the original.
The family's really come together around the dog. Boys are enjoying the chores that go along with having the dog. We missed it for a year and a half of not having those 4 feet around the house, but now we do. I don't think Sasha's going to be a police dog. She's probably just going to be a family pet.
That's a girl. Hey, a good girl. Hey.